Hello world, Javi here, and welcome back to another episode of I don't know what this is called. That's probably going to be the title of this video, but we'll figure out what series I'm gonna name this. Basically, we're back, and I kind of wanted to show you guys what I've been working on in my free time. If you haven't seen me post a lot of like newer content, it's basically because I'm in the middle of school. We're hitting midterms, and I'm heading towards the end of my last year, and I'm almost graduated, so I'm very excited. You guys don't know what I am studying. I'm studying to be a respiratory therapist, and so we're gonna try to focus on that right now. And then after I get that done, I can kind of really put my head down and focus on the YouTube and the stuff. So if you like what you've been seeing so far and you want to support me so that I can do this full time, please subscribe and please share the videos with as many people as you know. It really will help me out in the future. But for right now, we're going to be focusing on my character. So like I said, in the first video, I did a silhouette of a character. I've never used a drawing program before in my life. I cannot draw. I cannot do a straight line in real life. So this was very uncalled for. After a while of checking out the colors and all that stuff and fixing the lines and doing everything, I ended up with something like this. And this is the quote-unquote final product of what I created. Very basic. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not special, but it's cool because he's animated. So he can go like this, right? Yeah, it's pretty cool, pretty cool. That took me like a good 6 hours to just do those two parts. Not because of the copying, not because of the drawing. I that was fast, but it was figuring out how I'm gonna make him feel alive, and that brought me down a rabbit hole of looking up videos on pixel art and basically game design. I want to give a huge shout out to Adam C. Eunice. He is a Twitch streamer, and he has a YouTube channel where he provides excellent classes on color theory, on canvas sizing, on pixel art, and how to use this program that I'm using. So if you are interested, I'd highly recommend going to his channel, checking him out, giving him a subscribe, and watching his videos because he's very informative. He keeps it very simple as he can make it, I should say. And it's very eye-opening, especially when you start learning about how this pixel art, the idea and the theories behind it translate to other animes, like animes that we know, like Dragon Ball Z or Demon Slayer. It's really cool. So I'd highly recommend go checking him out because he opened my eyes to a new world, and I want to thank him as well as Pirate Software, because if it wasn't for me watching that stream, I wouldn't have known about the fact that you could do that with sprites on the screen. Anyway, with that out of the way, now we're getting to a real grind. So basically what I realized was, after watching some of Adam's videos, I learned that canvas size is super important. Now, for those of you that don't know or haven't seen my first video, you should have seen what I was doing. I was just guessing, just figuring out the canvas size, figuring out the character size. It was very, very weird for me because I've never done this before. So I thought I had a great size, and I realized I don't. So if you take a look here, this is the size of my actual canvas. I can get you the exact size right now. Hold on a second. The actual size is 1000 by 1000. So already you're probably saying to yourself, what in the world is this kid doing? I had no idea what I was doing. That's the point. I was experimenting. Then after realizing what I got myself into, I had to do research. And I found out how important it was. In reality, my canvas size should be for, on average, what most pixel games and pixel sprites are. Now, this is not for all of them, but so what I learned was basically I need 64 by 64. So if we put that in perspective of my character, you can already see there's a huge problem. The major problem is that if I bring this down a little bit to my legs, so I got my legs, a little bit of the cape gets cut off here for both sides, so that's not terrible, but the hands kind of get cut off, and the entire top part of my character's main focus gets cut off. So what I need to do is I actually need to take this character and basically shrink him down to a more manageable size. To be frank, I'm being generous with the 64 by 64. I've seen other people do 32 by 32. So I need to decide what size I want. And I think based on the research, I want to stick to a 64 by 64 character. So basically what I would need to do after I do that is create animations. So let's just cancel for now and I'll show you. So now I need to translate that 64 pixel size character into a character that's going to be able to do this. This is my understanding of it. I still could be very wrong and I could be going down the wrong direction, but I at least have a foundation and now I can kind of go in and experiment even more. I'm gonna stop talking for a sec and I'm gonna try to figure out this new canvas size. Okay, so I have my 64 by 64, and so this is how I'm gonna be building my character. So as you saw, that's how small that canvas size would be. Like, it's literally, his face is cut off and everything, so he's really big. So I actually need to shrink him down to a more manageable size. And if you notice, I have this base standard color palette that they have here, and I kind of want to change that palette. Now, I'm no expert in colors, I'm really not, and so I started learning about like the color index, and this is an example of it here. So I started doing a lot of thinking, and I said, let me look up some color palettes that I would want that are already pre-done for me, and I don't like them. So what I'm learning is I need to not only know canvas size, I need to know the color palette that I'm gonna do. On top of the color palette, I also need to know the style of character that I want to create, which thankfully I have. But remember, in the first video, I wanted to make firebenders and earthbenders, sort of Avatar-esque. So now I need to start looking for reference photos on Avatar and on all of that. So before I can even get to drawing again, as fun as this was, I really need to take it seriously, like figuring out that character that I genuinely want to create. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a minute. I'm gonna gather some reference photos from Avatar: The Last Airbender, also some pixelated images from games that I love, and I'm gonna try to compile them to use those as the reference photos on how my character is gonna look, basically. That's gonna take me a minute, so I'll see you guys once I do that. All right, and I finally finished at least like the foundational things. So basically down here I have my color palette. I was extremely interested in sort of like these types of colors because I'm doing firebender, waterbender, airbender, and earthbender, and so I needed to kind of go in and find references for the colors of each of those factions. Oddly enough, they didn't like Aang kind of has a mixture of colors that I noticed, and I'll show you guys in a second what I mean. But thus far, for at least like starting my character, like starting to shrink him down, I'm gonna be using these palettes. So these are the reference photos that I found. So obviously you have my guy here, down here, but if we just start from the top, we have Aang, you know, Sokka, Toph, and Katara, and you can see the color schemes here that I kind of took. So we have, if I just shrink this down to the side here, hold on, let me just do that. So, you know, we have sort of that like reddish, that like yellow, you know, the blue. So it kind of worked out there in terms of like Sokka's garb here. You know, we kind of have that blue right around here. Katara, kind of that little blue, probably a little lighter than that, but that's okay because I'm not gonna be making her. I'm gonna try to make like just like the colors for that. And then, you know, you have Toph's colors here, which I was trying to get a good hue for that. I think it's that one right there. It was kind of hard though because of the shadowing. And then you have that green right there that I really like a lot. I think it's around here, that color, if I can see correctly. You know, I'm new at this, so I don't 100% have it 1,000% accurate, but like you look down here, same thing. We have those, like, I have different hues in case we're looking at different directions. And then I forgot that there were Game Boy games, and I was just like, that's right, I remember playing Avatar: The Last Airbender on the PS2 and on the Game Boy, and there was sprites that were made for this, for the Game Boy. So I said, you know what, let me take inspiration from that to get an idea of not only like the colors, but just like the way the shapes are gonna be. And then it kind of brought me back to like the Game Boy Advance days where I played like Dragon Ball, you know, Advanced, I think that's what it is. I'll put a picture on the screen. And Dragon Ball Z, The Legacy of Goku, which I'll put up on screen as well. I started finding sprites of them. So I found the Legacy of Goku one here, and I was like, I could take some inspiration on the character model design. And then I kind of felt like, you know, how else would I want to like mishmash this? And I started looking at The Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past over here, and Chrono Trigger. So I kind of want to make sort of a sprite around these three kind of mixed together, and I'm gonna try my best to make this guy kind of turn out to be these guys over here. I don't know which one yet, but I really loved the Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku, the way the sprites were made. They were very detailed in the small amount of space that they had, and so that's going to be an interesting journey trying to figure that out, because I do like Chrono Trigger, but the thing is it's so boxy and it's too pixelated because of how small they are, whereas here I feel like there's like more space to work with. I could be wrong, but that's the perspective that I'm getting. And I chose this one here because I'm also going to be trying to make my character animate. So this will give me a good idea of like, you know, if my character's doing an attack move, like, you know, earth wall or like a fireball, like this gives me an idea of like a reference to like go back to and look at. Oh, and before I start, I just want to show you guys that I ended up having this pen here. And I have this little tablet. Tablet here. I don't know how to use it, but we'll figure it out. start. All right. Okay, I finally figured it out. So for my guy, the long eyes was not working. So I made them boxier, as well as the white around the eyes I made boxier. It looks like better to me, especially when I like zoom out. Like, okay, obviously he doesn't have hair. I'm gonna add that, but it looks a lot better than these characters here. So I'm going to work on the hair now, and then once I work on the hair in the next episode, I'm gonna work on the body. But I'm burnt, so let me do this and let's see the final result. Okay, that's the hair. I don't know how it looks. I'm not an expert on hair, but it looks pretty good. Like I kind of see it, I kind of don't. It's really hard to make that circular shape without it looking like a really defined outline. I guess that's what I have to work on more, is like if I look at these sprites, right, he has an outline. His outline is actually his skin color. So I think I could actually get rid of like this part here to make it more like realistic. Like, let me just get rid of this. I can kind of see it now. like it looks a lot better, without it being so like so much. I think that beard definitely needs to be more, because this is it's like a deeper chin there. Actually, that looks chin. Just like that, yeah. The hair I like, it's kind of coming across his face. Beard is not really in a location that I like too much. I think it's probably because I didn't widen it more. All right, and I think we got our character now. Let's just like compare and contrast like the characters. So, okay, it's looking good. It's looking pretty good. The only thing is the outline is white. I don't have it as blue, and I have an idea for that. I think I'm going to use that highlight as a way to define the elements as well. I don't know yet, but like as an example, like firebender, let's say, I'll have like the garb, like the robe that I have, it'll be, that red of some sort, and then the hair could be a shade of red to just indicate that, like, that highlight, like, oh, he's a firebender. That's more that indicates more that he is. Or it could just be the headband. I keep that, I change the headband instead. There's a lot that I can do with it. But I like it. We got the 3 strands of hair kind of coming out here. We have the little pompadour type style of a haircut. I don't really like this boxy part, but when you kind of like zoom out, it doesn't look too bad. Maybe I can correct that. Maybe I just like delete a little bit of it, and then it looks cleaner, kind of like that. You know what I mean? Like, maybe, does that look cleaner? That doesn't look right. Something's off there. That looks a little better. That looks a little better. I think that looks better. I'm gonna stick with it. We can edit it as we go, but it does look pretty good. I like it. One thing I noticed was the outline I had before. I kind of went with the Dragon Ball Z characters, because if you notice their outline, it's more of their skin tone than anything. That's what I've noted. Unlike, for example, the Link to the Past one, it's like outlined with black to really have a high contrast. These have lower kind of contrast colors as the outline, so that you can really differentiate the character, like the facial features and stuff, which I think that's probably what gave them the ability to like make them look more like their actual character on such a small level. Same thing here, like you can kind of see like you have these high contrast colors kind of like separating them, although it's not black. It's just like a darker shade of this kind of blue that kind of outlines everything for this character, and it's different on this character, versus Link, where it's way obvious. You know what I mean? Black is separating the pink and so on. For some reason I like this subtlety, so I like what I did here. So I'm gonna keep it like this, and I think I'm gonna do the same type of outline for the rest of the body, rather than keeping it like all black. But let me know what you guys think. I'm going to continue drawing my character. I'm going to make the body and color it in the next video, and see what kind of sprite we come up with. It's looking good so far. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you all on the other side.